So have faith in your vision, have faith in the seed that you are planting. Don't let onlookers distract you. Stay focused and absorb the information, absorb the nutrients that your seed, that your plant needs to thrive. Anything else is a distraction and it will destroy your garden. 1,000, 1,700, 2,600, 1,100, 850. I can keep going, guys, but I'm not here to brag. I'm not here to show off. The point is that everything that you're about to learn in this video, I have done over the last 3, 4, 5 years. Not only has this information been proven to be effective for me, but also for my immediate peer group and thousands of people on the internet who've been paying attention to this channel for years. Before we hop into the information that has allotted plenty of people financial freedom, you got to understand something, okay? And it's going to take me about 30 seconds to get this across. And if you cannot pay attention for 30 seconds, just click off the video now. You're not going to make it, man. Go ahead and get you another job, do whatever you're going to do. Focus. You got to understand that the best advice, the best piece of information anybody can give you in life is that everything starts off as a seed. Okay, everything. Show me one thing in existence that didn't start off as a seed, as an egg, or it came from something that wasn't even visible to most of the people in the world walking around doing their thing. You have to think of your entrepreneurial journey as a seed. All right, nobody's gonna believe in it at first. Who cares? Nobody can see it at first. Who cares? You have to have faith that when you plant that seed into fertile soil, okay, soil that's going to give your dream, your vision, the nutrients to rise up and become that full-blown tree, or to be whatever it is that you see. And with enough time, patience, and nurture, that seed will always grow. That's just a law of the universe. That's just a law of nature. So understanding yourself being a piece of nature, this is true for you as well. And I humbly offer this video to you as the nutrients for your soil. Okay, you already have a base. You know what you want to do. Guess what? I'm gonna give you some juice to speed up your growth. I wish somebody would have told me this when I started my most successful business up at this point 5 years ago. Okay, I'd be much further ahead than where I am now. So have faith in your vision, have faith in the seed that you are planting. Don't let onlookers distract you. Stay focused and absorb the information, absorb the nutrients that your seed, that your plant needs to thrive. Anything else is a distraction and it will destroy your garden. First thing first, I'm gonna break down the levels of business as I see it as a mid-tier entrepreneur. And of course, it's more complicated than this at the highest levels, but this video is for new entrepreneurs, people who are just getting started or have very limited experience. For the majority of us, there's about 3 levels that we can really understand when it comes to business. The first is the $1,000 level. The second is the $10,000 level. Third is a $100,000 level. We use M for month. Now, as far as I see, this is the easiest way to break it down for somebody who's getting into it, or somebody who's been into it for a few years and they're really ready to really take it up another level. All right, now most of us will be starting right here in this $1,000 per month range, unless you know a little bit about what you're doing. If you're coming in fresh, this is probably gonna be your first month. It's probably gonna be a little bit lower, maybe a little bit higher, but until you kind of know what you're doing, this is really what you should expect and be okay. This should be your goal for the first 2 or 3 months in your own business as far as net profit. All right, now that is extremely low. All right, why is it so low? You have to understand something. When you're fresh as an entrepreneur, you're coming in by yourself usually. That eye's jacked up, but that's the truth of the situation. Okay, you don't have a big team. You by yourself. You're doing all the calls yourself. You're filling out your forms by yourself. You're doing your website by yourself. You're marketing, advertising by yourself. For most of us, that is how we're going to start. Okay, you're going to be wearing all of these different hats. Okay, not only are you gonna be wearing all these different hats, you're going to be figuring things out and you're gonna be messing things up all the time during the beginning. All right, that's part of the journey. That's the learning curve. Information like this video, other videos on this channel, and just other information across on the internet in the real world, that'll help you speed up your learning curve. But ultimately, you have to find ease in this beginning phase, okay? However you need to do it, and trust that things will get better over time, okay? The biggest thing that I see is that new entrepreneurs typically quit way too soon. This is pretty much people with everything that they want to do. They quit way too soon. All right, there's a lot of reasons behind that. You know, we kind of created a culture of instant gratification. Nowadays, perhaps that's part of the reason, but stick to it, all right? That's been true for everything in life since the beginning of time. Stick to it and something will come of it. And what should you be sticking to? That is the testing, okay? Stay true to this, because if you haven't figured out how to make a buck by yourself yet, you got a lot of things you got to figure out, okay? You got to learn what's going to sell. What can you sell effectively? What can you sell that's not going to be completely soul draining for you? All right, you got to figure all these things out. So early on, remember, test, test, test. You got to survive. You got to make your money. Keep your regular job if you're going to double down on this testing, you're not going to make a lot of money soon, okay? Or keep another source of income. Always be thinking about survival, of course, but you have to test. Okay, survival is a short-term mindset. Okay, we're only worried about surviving today. If you only worry about surviving today, you're gonna have the same issue tomorrow as far as how am I gonna survive tomorrow? If you think long-term and you test enough things and realize, okay, I figured out what can help me survive for a month, a year, for the rest of your life, now you're good to go. I honestly believe the longer that you can stay here, the more seeds that you can plant in this testing phase. Okay, for me, for example, I learned marketing, I learned brick pavers, I've learned content creation. I've combined all these skills into my own business, which has allowed me to be extremely successful, honestly, with very limited effort. And that's the next thing I want to say. Anything you do at this point should not be very serious, all right? Or it should be serious, but don't take it very seriously. If you mess up a project and you're making less than $1,000 a month, you know, unless that project is going to cost you your life or it's going to cost you $1 million, which it won't, what are you worried about? Okay, you lost $100, you lost $50, you lost $1,000. That's not that much money in the grand scheme of things. Always remember to keep your sight long, okay? Don't forget, you're in the testing phase, all right? You gotta start here. It goes from 0 to 1,000, not 10,000 to 500, okay? 0 to 1,000, 1,000 to 10, 10 to 100. This is how this stuff works. So be for real, but take everything with a grain of salt, because any decisions, any mistakes, or even any good things that happen at this point right here really do not matter in the grand scheme of things. It's the information that you collect that's going to save your life. Moving on. Once you figured out what you want to do, once you figured out how to sell what you want to sell, now we can start thinking about getting to 10K a month. And how do we do that? The biggest difference between 1,000 and 10,000 in any business is typically systems, okay? Whether they're manual systems or automated systems, any business that's able to generate this kind of money, okay, or any individual even who's even able to generate this kind of money on their own, they have systems in place, okay? Automated or manual systems. That means you have a voicemail in place, okay? You have a sign-up form on your website, okay? You have a website, you have things that are in place when you're asleep and not working that can still collect information for your business, all right? That is a system, an automated system, all right? And there's millions of them in multiple different industries that can help with whatever you're doing. So get educated in your business first off, and then start to develop the system that's working for the leaders of your industry. Don't do what you think is gonna work. Do what's working for the leaders of your industry. Not only is the system important at this stage, but also brand. All right, when you're talking about $10,000 a month, unless you're selling, you know, one product or two products a month, you're gonna have to probably build some reputation to get people to even trust you to give you some money. All right, this is how brand works. As an individual, okay, it's a lot more difficult to sell things. All right, I can sell a $7,000 project under my brand. All right, if they're looking at me, Malik Ashford, I could still probably sell it. I could do it, but I'd have to convince them a lot more. You gotta understand, when you're going out there as an individual and you're doing things by yourself, representing yourself, if I go out there as Malik and say, hey, I got this $7,000 project, I'll do it for you. They don't know me from Tommy. All right, they don't know who I am or anything like that. They don't care who I am. People generally do not trust strangers, and that's wise. You should not trust a stranger. That stranger is difficult to find on the internet. That stranger does not have a portfolio that's widely available on the internet. Stranger doesn't have an office, a business phone that you can call and leave a voicemail, okay? You might get the strangers, hey, you've reached Tommy, leave a message. You know, that's difficult to attract a high-end customer. And again, it depends on what you want in your business, but for me, I'm attracting high-end customers. I want the best people, so I'm going to represent myself the best way I can do it as possible. And how to do that is through brand, okay? Your brand has Google reviews. It's an established entity that's on the internet that other people have reviewed tens, hundreds, thousands of times. I mean, there's social proof that you are the person to get this job done, versus a scammer. A single individual can go to all different cities across the world and he'll never run into the same person. He won't ever have to pay for any wrongdoings. And that's why brand is so pivotal when you're ready to scale your business and start making larger sums of money. Everybody knows that Jeff Bezos is the owner or the creator of Amazon, but nobody is buying from Jeff Bezos, they're buying from Amazon. People still don't like Jeff Bezos because he's still the figurehead of the company or whatever the case may be, but Amazon is who people are buying from. It says Amazon on the package, it's not Jeff Bezos, okay? Understand, this is for all great companies, even for celebrity influencers, people like Rihanna, the Kardashians, who have extremely popular, loyal, fan bases, these people are even branding their products, their beauty products, under different names. Ulta Beauty, I don't know all their skincare stuff, but I haven't seen Rihanna's makeup brand written on a package. And I'm really nailing this point here because this is one of the most important things in business today. In 2022, going into 2023 and beyond, you have to have your brand. Not only that, you have to have an online presence with your brand, which does not take long to do, okay? If you can't do it yourself, hit up Gold Watch Marketing. They'll take care of it for you. That's the power of brand. So once your systems and your brand is in place, guess what is the next big thing that you need as a brand, okay? You need advertising. Can't spell word shit. And there are tons of different ways that you can do advertising. There's tons of videos on this channel with step-by-step guides where I'm showing you my exact advertising strategy. So really go check those out. Those have helped out thousands of people make hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last couple of years as well. It's an extremely valuable resource. Do not skip over that, guys. Seriously. You got to understand, especially if you're new, okay, this is the great equalizer. All right, the guys who've been doing business for 10 years, 15 years, they don't really got to advertise because they've set themselves up as legitimate brands in the area. Okay, if you're new, if you're a fresh brand, you need to do some advertising to get your name out into the public, okay, so people can see your brand. That's what this is about. Everything from yard signs, Facebook, Instagram ads, TikTok ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, videos, even like these, shameless plug, all of this is advertising. You have to figure out, how can I get my business, how can I get what I'm doing in front of my potential customers? And if you still don't know who your customers are, guess what you need to go back to do? Go back here, okay? You learn how to test, because even when you get here to 100K, you're still gonna have to test, all right? Foundation. These are foundational skills you're gonna learn here. These are foundational skills you're gonna learn here. You're gonna learn foundational skills here. I haven't figured this out yet because I'm not making $100,000 a month, but I definitely can make $10,000 a month. That's not very challenging, but I wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't have these skills here. Now, if I didn't supplement them with these things right here as well. The only difference, the main difference between 100K and 10K is that there's extremely slow execution here, okay, versus 100K execution. It might not be slow execution, but compared to how fast they'll probably get it done, it's slow execution, okay? And why is that? That's because here, we're still typically an individual. We might have one or two helpers, all right? We're lacking manpower. And I'm sure you've seen contractors all over the place talk about this. Nobody wants work, can't find any help. Stores aren't hiring as they used to anymore. The world is actually changing. So you've chosen the best time to start your own business, to get by yourself, to do it on your own, because things are changing, man. You're really gonna need to know these skills in order to survive at the highest levels in the very near future. And again, I'm not here yet. I'm on my way to making $100,000 a month, and I'll get there as soon as I implement these. And again, it's good to know, even if you're still here, it's good to know here because you can plan out your journey. If you don't know what it takes to get here or what these guys are doing, you may never get here, okay? So you have to learn. Thankfully, I'm blessed with mentors who are making a crap ton more money than I am in multiple different fields. So I'm fortunate to see how these guys are doing it and able to adjust my own movements based off of that. If you're smart, which I know you are because you're still watching to this point in the video, you will do the same exact thing. The number one thing is that they're doing everything over here at scale. Flip this around for some of you math nerds, but everything they're doing over here is being done right here at scale. Check this out. They have the manpower, they have the budget, all right? When I say budget for strong advertising, let's just anecdotally, I'm gonna say, if you're getting a 7 times return on your investment, these guys are putting, let's call it 20K into ad spend a month, more business than they can handle. They have enough manpower to get all of the work done, and they're able to do it quickly, okay? This is the difference between these guys. Remember, what does a customer want? The customer wants the best product for the best price, the fastest, okay? You're typically not gonna get all three at one time, okay? These people are giving you the best product, the quickest, but they're also gonna be the most expensive. Whereas this guy's gonna go the slowest. He's not gonna be that expensive, and it might be kind of jacked up. You never really know with this guy. It depends on the project, where they're at in their own thing, because there's such a wide range from 10K, 70K, 50K a month. There's so many different levels in this bracket right here. Okay, these guys are pretty much similar across the board. These guys are very similar across the board. This is where a lot of the magic happens, okay? This is where this is what's gonna make or break you as an entrepreneur. Okay, if you can beat this, if you can get this stuff figured out, nothing can stop you, bottom line. And you also got to understand that a lot of these things come over time. Okay, manpower, I don't know a single person. Okay, I'm not saying you can't do it, but I don't know a single person who's been able to create a 5-man team overnight that can tackle $100,000 worth of business every month, at least in my industry. I do exterior restoration, that's brick pavers, decks, all kind of stuff. Not in my business have I seen somebody come up with a team overnight. The only guys that are doing this is the guys who've been in the industry, who've been networking, and have been doing this kind of work for an extremely long time. Okay, at least 5 years, at least 6+ years, longer than that typically. Okay, there's outliers. Every now and then you'll see a 23-year-old kid or whatever who has $1 million business. Look, congratulations to him. No hate, no anything to that, but that's just not the reality for most of us, okay? We're all gonna start here typically, all right? People that start ahead of the curve typically have a good support system. Somebody put in that work for them, and they're pretty much inheriting that work, which I think is a beautiful thing. Generational wealth is important. It's a blessing, and it's frowned upon because people are losers. I'm just gonna be honest with you, but if you're a winner, you want to give something to your children. All right, you want them to be okay. You don't want them to be struggling, poor, going through it. That's insane if you ask me. And I'm gonna throw this under 100,000, but this is also true for the 10,000 guys as well. Minimize fires, okay? And I know that says minimize fires, but minimize fires, guys. Okay, that means that you got a whole team of people. Sometimes these guys aren't doing what they're supposed to be. Okay, God forbid you have an alcoholic or druggie on your job site that's putting people at risk. All right, some people are just lazy, some people are just dangerous. So you have to, as a person in this position, this is your biggest downfall, okay? You can get hit by something somebody else did, all right? Which is also why a lot of people choose to stay within this range, okay? They like to do it by themselves because people are liabilities at the end of the day. So that's pretty much that. As a new entrepreneur, just understand you're on a journey, okay? No baby gets born as a baby and wakes up the next day as a full-grown adult. All right, we all have to walk our steps and take the journey. There's nothing wrong with that. It's great that you're ready to take the journey because most people don't even take the journey. All you actually have to do is walk up the steps, deal with the same stuff everybody else has already dealt with, and come through it the other side. All right, it's about your own endurance. You have to beat yourself. Okay, when you feel tired, you feel sleepy, you want to get up to do it, to take the next steps, slap yourself across the face, sprinkle some water on you, get going, man, because nobody's gonna do it for you. The longer you wait, the longer it's gonna come to happen, and the longer you'll have to actually suffer building somebody else's dreams. I appreciate you for watching to this point in the video. I know that you're gonna make it if you get out of your own way. That's the only thing that's ever stopping somebody with your level of aptitude, attention to detail, and just overall consciousness and awareness. Check out my ebook, Brand for Bucks, in the description below. You can pay whatever you want for it, 99 cents, $1,000. Be my guest. The information in this ebook is only about 3,000 words, not very long, but it's solid. It's packed full of information. Every single sentence in that book is going to help you create a brand that's going to make you a lot of money. I've created multiple brands over the last decade or so now, including this YouTube channel. So please go check that out if you want more in-depth, high level information on branding that not only comes from me, but from my mentors and people that I research and study heavily. You will not be disappointed. You'll get through it in an hour, but you'll be 2 years smarter because of it. Hit the subscribe button if you like the content, like the video, drop a comment if you got any questions. Keep hustling. Peace.
I got a genie in a bottle, baby. Go ahead, make a wish. She'll bring you anything you want, little baby. Go ahead.